I've always been fascinated by the way the universe seems to nudge us towards certain paths, especially when we least expect it. Have you ever had one of those moments where everything just clicks? Like the stars align, and you suddenly understand why things are happening the way they are? That's kind of how I feel about what's going on right now, this cosmic shift we're experiencing. I'm talking about the upcoming solar eclipse. It's not just any ordinary celestial event. It's one of those rare moments where the universe offers us a reset, a realignment of energy. And for a handful of lucky zodiac signs, it's going to unlock some serious financial opportunities. Now, I'm not saying you're about to win the lottery, but hey, imagine billions flowing your way, obstacles removed, and your financial path suddenly cleared by the very forces of the cosmos. It sounds wild, right? But this kind of thing happens more often than we think, especially when we tap into the right energy. I've learned over the years that understanding the energy surrounding these celestial events can make all the difference. So today, I want to share how you can harness the power of this solar eclipse. Numbers and their energies. We're going to talk about which zodiac signs are poised for incredible financial growth, and I'll explain why this isn't just some random alignment of planets, but rather a profound opportunity for transformation. You see, the universe is always sending us signs, little nudges, synchronicities, coincidences, whatever you want to call them. It's up to us to pay attention, to align ourselves with that energy. And sometimes, that means stepping out of our comfort zone, taking risks, and trusting the process. It's not always easy, I get it. But trust me, once you open yourself up to these forces, things start to shift in ways you can't even imagine. Let's start with October 2024. This month, we're looking at some numbers that carry significant meaning according to Buddhist teachings, each tied to powerful energies that can guide us through this period of transformation. Embracing change with number 5. First up is the number 5. Now, this number is all about change, freedom, and adventure. If you've been feeling stuck, like you're treading water and not really getting anywhere, October could be your chance to break free. According to Buddhist teachings, the number 5 is deeply connected with the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. These elements represent the natural balance of life, and their integration is key to finding harmony. I remember a time when I felt like I was on autopilot, just going through the motions, day in and day out. It wasn't until I started embracing change that things shifted for me. That's the energy of the number 5. It's not about forcing change, but allowing it to happen, trusting that the universe has your back. Whether it's taking a leap of faith in your career or pursuing a passion you've been putting off, this is the month to do it. Spiritual growth with number 7. Then there's the number 7, which is all about spiritual growth and introspection. This number invites us to turn inward, to look for answers within ourselves. I know that can sound a little daunting, especially if you're in the middle of a personal crisis or feeling lost. But sometimes the only way forward is to pause and reflect. I found that during these moments of introspection, meditation can be a powerful tool. It helps you clear the mental clutter and gain clarity. The number 7 is like a guide, helping you reconnect with your intuition and understand your true purpose. In October, it's the perfect time to deepen your spiritual practice, whether that's through meditation, journaling, or simply spending time alone in nature. Creativity and expression with number 3. And then there's the number 3, which brings a burst of creativity and communication. This is the time to step outside your comfort zone and share your ideas with the world. I know for me, creative energy always flows more freely when I stop worrying about how it will be received and just focus on expressing myself authentically. That's what the number 3 is all about, letting go of fear and embracing who you truly are. In Buddhist teachings, creativity is seen as a form of self-expression that connects us to the universe. It's about harmonizing the mind, body, and spirit and allowing yourself to think in new ways. This October, if you've been holding back creatively, now's the time to let that energy out. Whether it's starting a new project, sharing your work, or simply exploring something new, the universe is supporting your journey. Balance and stability with number 8. Finally, we have the number 8, which is all about balance and stability, particularly in the financial realm. This number carries the energy of infinity and endless possibilities. If you've been working toward a financial goal, October could bring the stability you've been striving for. I used to think balance was about keeping everything in perfect order, but I've come to realize it's more about flow, understanding when to push forward and when to step back. The number 8 teaches us that stability doesn't come from holding on too tightly, but from finding that rhythm, that balance between effort and ease. So, as we move into this transformative time, remember that these numbers, 5, 7, 3, and 8, aren't just abstract concepts. They're energies we can tap into, guiding us through periods of change, introspection, creativity, and balance. The solar eclipse is just the beginning, a catalyst for unlocking the potential that's been waiting for the right moment to surface. Let's keep an eye on how the universe continues to speak to us. Sometimes, all it takes is a little awareness, a little openness, and suddenly, you find yourself on a path you never could have predicted. I've been thinking a lot lately about how we're constantly juggling the need for stability with our desire for growth. It's like we're always trying to strike a balance between wanting to be financially secure and feeling like we're on a meaningful path. And if you're like me, that balance can feel elusive sometimes. I've found that when I start looking for answers, it's often the universe itself that starts to provide them, usually in ways I didn't expect. Take the number 8, for example. There's something about its energy that just clicks when you're trying to bring more stability into your life. If you're in a place where you're working toward long-term financial goals, or maybe trying to dig yourself out of debt, the number 8's influence could be exactly what you need to focus and get things back on track. I've seen it happen, not just in theory, but in real life. Like a friend of mine who was buried in financial stress, suddenly started budgeting, making smarter investments, and by the end of just 1 month, found themselves in a far more secure place, not just financially, but mentally too. It's that kind of energy that October can bring. The importance of family and love with number 15. And here's the thing about the number 8. It's not just about accumulating wealth. Buddhist teachings remind us that true wealth comes from living a balanced life. Financial success is part of it, sure, but it's also about managing resources wisely. It's about learning how to keep things steady so you can experience both material and spiritual abundance. It's funny how these teachings always seem to come back to balance, right? We often think of wealth in terms of numbers, but there's a deeper sense of peace that comes when everything is in alignment. Then there's the number 15, which centers around family harmony and unconditional love. Now, I'll be honest, this one really hits home for me. I think we all go through phases where life pulls us in a million different directions, and sometimes relationships with the people closest to us start to feel strained. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that when family connections are out of sync, everything else in life feels off too. That's where the energy of the number 15 comes in. It's a reminder to take a step back and focus on those relationships. Making dreams reality with number 22. I've seen this in action, like when a friend of mine, a dad who'd been so wrapped up in work, suddenly made the decision to reconnect with his kids. He didn't do anything dramatic, just started being more present, showing up, really listening, spending quality time. By the end of the month, the whole family dynamic had shifted. There was more peace, more love, and honestly, it felt like they were more united than ever. It's amazing what happens when you put energy into the people who matter most. And speaking of making things happen, the number 22 is one of those powerhouse numbers that you just feel when it's time to turn dreams into reality. I know I've had moments where I've had all these ideas floating around in my head, but never quite took the steps to make them happen. Sometimes, the hardest part is just getting started, right? The number 22 is like a nudge from the universe saying, okay, enough thinking. It's time to do. I've seen it work for others.